Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Your Mark on the World show. I'm your host, Devin Thorpe. I'm a Forbes contributor covering social entrepreneurship and impact investing, and we have a remarkable guest with us today. Dr. Devi Shetty is the chairman and still a practicing surgeon, a cardiac surgeon at Narayana Health in India. This is an episode you do not want to miss.
Welcome to Your Mark on the World, bringing you another change maker with champion of social good, Devin D. Thorpe.
Thank you.
Dr. Devi Shetty, welcome to the show. We're thrilled to have you.
It's my privilege, Devin. Thanks a lot for the opportunity.
Well, thank you for making the time. It's an honor to have you, especially with the time difference. We appreciate your making time in the middle of the evening for this discussion. But first off, let's get you properly introduced. Tell us a little bit about Narayana Health. This is one of the largest healthcare companies in India, something that you created from scratch. It's amazing, 15,000 employees, 6,000 beds. This is a big operation. Tell us a little bit about it.
You see, I'm a heart surgeon by profession, and I was trained in England, and I came back to India about 27, 28 years ago. And at that time, cardiac surgery was in a very infantile stage. It was not available and it was very expensive. So we started our journey of affordable heart surgery. And over a period of time, we built a chain of hospitals. And today, about 12% of the heart surgery done in India is done by our group in different hospitals. And the hospital where I work, we do between 27 to 35 major heart surgeries every day. Yeah, wow. It's essentially trying to do large number of procedures using economy of scale and reducing the cost. Yeah.
It's an impressive operation. There are a couple of things that are notable. One is that you say you don't turn anyone away for a lack of ability to pay. And yet your operation is profitable. Tell us how you do that.
Yes. The charity is not scalable, Devin. Good business principles are scalable. We believe that unless we respect money and unless we bring down the cost, our people cannot afford the heart surgery. If a solution is not affordable, it is not a solution. So what we do is by using economy of scale, we procure a large amount of bulk of our money goes for drugs and disposables. Salary component is only about 20-25%. Unlike in the Western countries where salary component is more than 50-60%. Our main cost is the cost of implants, which are mostly imported. So because we buy in large numbers, we are able to reduce our cost, and also we utilize our infrastructure very efficiently. We work about 12 to 14 hours a day, and we work 6 days a week. So whatever a typical American or a European hospital doesn't work on Saturdays and Sundays, and they only work between 9 to 5. So it's a colossal wastage of infrastructure because these machines, very expensive machines, have a lifespan of only about 5 to 6 years. So if you can use it to the maximum, you can reduce our cost. There are many things we can do to reduce our cost.
It's inspiring, really, to hear you talk about these issues because they apply equally well in any market. These are not Indian concepts that you're applying, and it's fascinating because there's so much we could learn from you. Another, speaking about what we learn and what we get from you, it looks from browsing your website like some of your business comes from the United States, people who travel to your hospital from the United States to have their procedures done. How big a part of the business is that?
We have built a hospital in Cayman Island, which is just an hour away from Miami airport. And this is designed with the idea of serving the needs of 40 million Caribbean population and South Americans and US citizens. So that's doing extremely well. This hospital is just about 3 years old, and it has done extremely well. And it is growing very, very fast. We can't just keep up with the growth. So essentially, there is a dire need for affordable healthcare, even in the Western Hemisphere. Healthcare cost is becoming unaffordable for most of the countries. You know, you'll be surprised. Today, the largest industry in the world is the healthcare industry. It's more than $8 trillion. We spend only $8 trillion for the food, but we spend over $8 trillion for healthcare. There is something dramatically wrong with everything what we are doing in this world here.
Yeah, it's fascinating, and it's exciting to see you on the front lines of reducing cost, because that is certainly in the United States, that is the problem now. Well, that and access to health care. So that you're addressing the cost, which is such a problem for us. I want to ask about your involvement with the Nudge Foundation. Tell us a little bit about your work there.
I am very fascinated with what Atul is doing at the Nudge Foundation, mainly because I'm sure you know his background. He comes from a typical corporate background, and he decided to work in this direction. And the direction what he has taken is extremely, extremely important for my country. The greatest threat for India is not going to be external aggression. The enemy country is attacking country, and this is not going to be the threat. Our greatest threat is going to be unemployed youth. We have a serious problem. We need to find jobs for at least 300 million youth. If they are not gainfully employed, they can destroy everything what we do. This has happened in several countries, even in Western Hemisphere. So Atul's main interest is bringing the so-called unemployable people to the realm of employment and giving them meaningful life. And that will have a big, big impact on what the country desperately needs. Because if you really look at what's happening in this world, that is, you go to the stock market, with the knowledge industry at the forefront, huge amount of wealth getting created. But this wealth is in the hands of very few people. So this will cause social imbalance. And this leads to a lot of problems. Today in India, we all feel safe. We walk around without security guards, and it's a safe place to live. But if the imbalance continues 5 years, 10 years from now, it may not be very safe. So we need to find ways and means of employing millions of people. You see, in our country, we have a serious problem. Only 17% of our GDP depends on the agriculture. But over 50% of the population depends on agriculture as the main source of revenue. This was the case in US 50 years ago, 60 years ago. Today, agriculture employs only 2% of the people. You don't need half the country's population to be working in the farmland. It is totally mechanized. And the same thing is going to happen in India. If that happens, where do you find the jobs for all these people? And Nudge Foundation's main job is finding employment for so-called uneducated, unskilled people, and skilling them, giving them the knowledge to fend for themselves.
That's fantastic. And how do you support them? What do you do?
I'm supporting them in terms of, giving them some directions exactly, because you see, the healthcare industry is going to be the largest employer in the world. If you look at the global statistics, especially in the US, in the last 7 years, only industry which created new jobs is the healthcare industry. That is the only industry which keeps hiring people. As every industry matures, it requires less and less number of people. In the US, manufacturing is showing a negative growth, even though your government keeps talking about Make in US and promoting manufacturing in the US. Manufacturing really doesn't create that many jobs like it used to in the past.
Yeah.
Whereas across the world, in the next 14 years, there will be shortage of over 80 million healthcare workforce. And these healthcare jobs are not attractive for citizens of rich countries. And these jobs are not attractive for children from rich families because healthcare jobs are very stressful.
Yes.
And it's very painful as well.
Yeah.
So it's an ideal industry for a country like ours, where the children from poor families have an aspiration to become doctors, nurses, medical technicians. So
Right.
this is what I'm trying to nudge the Nudge Foundation.
That's good. Now, what's the most important lesson you've learned over your career?
Yeah, there are many lessons we learn, but the greatest lesson I learned is that, like what our scriptures say, that if you're trying to work for the welfare of the society without really having any vested interest in yourself, you work towards the welfare of the society, cosmic forces will connive their way to make sure that you succeed. So the result what you get is disproportionately higher than what you would get otherwise. And this has been my experience. If you have the goal to touch as many people's life as possible, amazing things happen, strange things happen. People like Devin Thorpe will be interviewing me at 10:30 at night.
Yes, exactly. Well, Dr. Devi Shetty, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. Before you go, can you tell people how they can learn more about Narayana Health?
Oh, yeah. I think we have all the materials in the website. There are so many stories written, but interestingly, none of those stories are written by us. So, you should always take it with a pinch of salt, but more or less everything what you want to know is written somewhere. But if you need anything else, I can provide it. There are a lot of articles I keep writing about how the country should progress, what should be our policies. I can send it across to you, Devin.
Great. Thank you very, very much. Dr. Devi Shetty, we wish you every success in continuing to change the face of healthcare, not only in India, but around the world.
Thank you very much, Devin.
All righty. Let's do some good.
Thank you for listening. This podcast was recorded via Google Hangouts on Air and is available at youtube.com/Devin Thorpe. Subscribe to this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes by searching for Your Mark on the World. Every weekday, Devin hosts a CEO, celebrity, entrepreneur, or other changemaker here on the Your Mark on the World show to inspire and prepare you to make your mark. Devin is a champion of social good, writing about, advocating for, and advising people who are doing good. He is a Forbes contributor who is a recognized thought leader in social entrepreneurship, impact investing, and crowdfunding. To book Devin as a speaker, visit devinthorpe.com. Learn more about Devin's work at yourmarkontheworld.com.